Hey guys, what's going on, and welcome back to a brand new video. And today we are going to be doing a Bielsa 4141 murder ball tactic. Now this guy obviously is very famous for playing that sort of style which only a few players are capable of playing because it is so intense. So it's going to be an interesting experiment to see exactly how it replicates inside of Football Manager, and hopefully the players can hack it. But let's get into the video. Before we do though guys, please do leave a like on these tactic videos if you guys do enjoy them. The tactics are always completely free and can be found in the description. So, Bielsa, we all know who he is, obviously formerly Leeds manager for quite some years, and he done a good job there, but obviously as time went on, it didn't go as well season by season. And this guy is mostly known for his style of play. You've heard about his horrific training sessions, the way he'd make the players run and run and run until they'd literally collapse. Obviously, the murder ball sort of, word coming out. They'd be forced to play on such tiny pitches at such high intensity. Constant running. And his tactic is actually, I quite like it, to be honest. It's based around always being on the move, really. The shorter passing is a key thing in this, and for that to work, obviously players need to be running inwards, outwards all the time to make options. Now, it is a very high intense tactic to play, so it is quite demanding on the players. So, especially inside of a Football Manager game, you might incur the occasional injury, but it is a really fun system to play. And if you guys have got the good squad, or you've got a good squad to do it, you've got fit players, good natural fitness, or just good depth, then definitely a system that can be successful. Like I said, the press is ridiculously intense, and it's probably what he's most known for, to be honest. Obviously, he did do a good job at Leeds, I will say, but it was right that he did move on because Leeds weren't getting the results. And to be honest, they do look a little bit better now with obviously Marsh involved. But let's get into the first tactic test, which is going to be with Leeds. So, we hopped over to a Leeds tactic test, and to be honest, I am absolutely buzzing with how this went. We managed to finish third in the division with 75 points, which is way beyond what I expected to do. 23 goals coming in for Rodrigo. Jack Harrison with 10 assists as well. Very poor in the Cups. Now, I will say, I looked at a couple of squads for the Cups, and it was very heavily rotated. So, obviously, if I was playing this myself, I might not have picked some of the squads that the assistant did, but still not the best performance in English Cups. But the Premier League, guys, coming third with Leeds with no extra signings is way beyond what I thought. So it just proves that this system can get you really good results. But the one thing I would like to point out is that you might pick up the occasional injury. So make sure you guys have got good depth, or you just got players that can really hack this style of play. So in terms of the data hub then, team attacking, we're going to be sitting at 1.55 goals a game compared to the expected 1.79, with the pass completion sitting at around 87%. We're then going to go over to the team defending, which is sitting at 0.74 with an expected of 0.91. So with this system, the games are very sort of, that's what I'm looking for. You're going to get the odd game where you thump a team sort of 4-0, 5-0, something like that, because the press is so intense they can't defend against it. You're literally on them right from the get-go. You are also going to have the games which you might fall up short upon. So I would recommend that, you do have a backup option if needed. But then a lot of the games did end up being sort of like a 1-0 here, a 2-1 here. So the goals conceded and the goals scored are relatively close, but still in our favour. The conceded are 0.74 and 1.55, so double what we scored double what we conceded, which is what you want to be seeing if you are going to be obviously managing a football team, because that means you're going to be scoring a lot more than what you're going to be conceding. But if we look at obviously like some of the schedule, for example, we can see here early on. So I want to show these especially in this save because obviously there is quite a variety of results. It is able to beat some of the big teams, so like your Manchester United's there, a good result there against Everton, for example, your Tottenham's, Leicester 6-0, so it's like you will get the occasional thumping. Then this will happen a few times where the press just doesn't get you there enough, your players get tired, possibly you can't, keep up necessarily, so a 1-1 there. A few defeats here. Like, I'm not afraid to show you guys defeats because this isn't labeled as a flawless tactic. It is a very, very demanding tactic, but I like to remake it because it is a fun tactic to use. But these are all against good teams. Everton probably should be beaten, but then a 2-0 against Tottenham, 4-0 there against Villa, bit of a shock there against Norwich. But there are some of the results you can see there. Actually 2-1 against Arsenal, 1-1 against Chelsea. So it is a very good tactic to get results against big teams because, like I said, you come out of the gate so hot, like you literally press them right from the rip and they can't hack it. They can't keep up. So it is a very good system to get results. And like I said, This was with no signings. This was simulating. So if you guys have your own players that are built for this, the sky's the limit. But let's hop over to the next tactic test, which is going to be with Athletic Bilbao. So, just the 3 competitions we were in on this save, and we actually managed to win the Spanish division by quite a few points, and that is purely down to, well, I mean, Anarchy Williams is one of the best strikers I think I've ever used in my life. 45 goals in a season for him, and the highest match rating. We also managed to come runners-up in the Copa del Rey there, and also we got knocked out in the Supercopa against Atletico Madrid in the semi-finals, but ignore them two, because we want to focus on this. We actually managed to win the Spanish division inside of 1 season. Bilbao do have quite a decent squad, a lot better than what I thought, to be honest. But we beat arguably 3 teams to the title here in Barcelona, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid. You might even favour Villarreal over us in terms of the title race. But one hell of a season, and I'm sure the stats are going to back it up here. Team attack, and there we go. 2.68 goals per game, 2.55 expected. Pass completion sitting at nearly 90% as well. So this is where you're really going to see the stats increase. We obviously started off in the hardest division. Obviously, Leeds haven't got the best squad on paper. No disrespect to them. That is why the stats are going to look a lot, not worse necessarily, but a lot less goals go in that division, because obviously the teams that you play are harder, and you haven't got the best team anyway. You go over to into a league like Spain with Bilbao, who are probably like top 6, top 7 team. They've got decent attackers. You're looking at 2.6, 2.7 goals per game. And team defending is even better, 0.42. So, you know, you're scoring over 2 goals a game. You concede in less than 1. Less than half a goal if you really want to word it like that. That's a bit of a weird way to word it. And attacker win ratio, again, not the highest on this one, because like I said, when there is such a high intense press involved, you will occasionally pick up bookings, because you can't press so intense and not make the occasional foul, because obviously these players are running, trying to win the ball back. Occasionally you will make a mistake, you will clip a player, you can't help it. But it's not too bad in the sense of you don't get sent off every game type of thing. But a very, very impressive season. Like I said, not expecting to win the division at all with any of the teams that I picked for this, but considering we've done it in this one, very, very happy. But let's hop over to what is going to be the last tactic test, which is actually going to be with Lille. Before we do hop over to the Lille tactic test though, guys, please do leave a like on this video, and please do subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. This way you're never going to miss when I upload, when I live stream, because the live streams are going to be coming back this week, if not next week. There's going to be tons of new content coming out as well. But yeah, let's hop over to the Lille test and see how we done in France. So, in France, we were not expected to win the division. I don't think anyone would predict that at all. We actually finished second, though, again, which is quite impressive. A few points behind PSG, but PSG's team is literally a joke, if we're being honest. Jonathan David there with 33 goals. Remy Cabella, blaster on the pass with 21 assists and getting the highest match rating. Knocked out in the first knockout by AC Milan in the Champions League. Kind of expected it, because at the end of the day, we got out of the groups, which is, again, is quite a big accomplishment considering we are Lille. Obviously losing a few of their players, haven't got the best team, and you know what, I'm not too gutted about that at all. Jonathan David getting 7 goals in that competition as well. We got knocked out in the semi-finals, but it is against PSG, so whenever it's against PSG, we never really judge it, because their team is obviously something you build in some type of dreamland. So to get to the semis and get knocked out by them is a little bit annoying, because even if we got them in the finals, you never know, we possibly could have beaten them. You never know. We do win the Trophée de Champion, though, which, again, is quite an important trophy in France. So, again, at least we do run away with a little bit of silverware. Jonathan David with 2 goals and an 8.7 match rating in that tournament. So, to be honest, at least we did manage to win a trophy. And obviously we finished second in the French division. So, I mean, that in itself is an accomplishment, because Monaco could have been up there. Obviously, Nice possibly. Olympique Lyon possibly. So, I mean, they didn't have a great season. I've just seen that there, actually. A point deducted for a crowd disorder. Never actually seen that before. But, no, out of the 3 teams, I'm really happy with how this is played out, because it's really, like, it's solid. Obviously, it is intense on the players. So, you will see the occasional injury. But the fact that it's able to finish second in this division is very impressive, and also obviously winning the Spanish league and getting top 4 with Leeds, in the first season. Something I was not expecting at all. I was expecting to finish possibly top 6, top 7 with Leeds, but to do that, absolutely brilliant. And what we're going to do is we're going to hop over back to the Bilbao save, and we're going to actually go into a game and watch how it plays. So I've picked out a game against Atletico Pamplona, and we're going to talk about the tactic now. So I always like to show you guys how it actually lays out before we actually start watching. This game we're going to be doing the key highlights because I want to focus more on how we win the ball back compared to the goals that we score. So you're going to have your 4 at the back here. Obviously, we can see this quite laid out here. You're going to have your 1 in midfield, which is obviously going to be the most defensive midfield player we have. And this is where the 4 comes in. So you obviously got the right-hand side. You've got 2 in midfield, and then you've got the 1 over here. And then the 4-1-4-1. So this is going to be the striker in terms of Inaki Williams. So let's go into the key highlights then. And let's actually watch this actually take off. So is this going to be a key highlight or is this just going to start? So you can see here a little bit of possession play. So it's not always going to be, or most of the time it isn't to do with long ball at all. It's actually really good pass and play from Williams. He finds a great ball over the top there into Williams, the other Williams on the team, who does unfortunately miss the goal, and quite an easy save for Herrera. But what we want to focus on in terms of the key highlights is really looking at how we win the ball back, and also sort of we're just hoping to see a lot of this press because the instructions are set up really well to hit the press, and the best way for me to actually show you how it works is to go in a game and show you live. So we win the ball back there. It's going to be Ventador into Vivian there, into Martinez. Again, the passing is really, really good in this system. Moumouine there with the ball. Williams drops deep to pick up the ball again into Moumouine. Ball out wide, cut back into Yuri. And again, if you look at the options, by the way, there's several options in the box, but he could have also cut back there. Number 4 sort of spread and over, which is going to be Martinez. A ball gets fed into the box. Williams just over the bar. So very unfortunate by him there. They then have a goal kick with Herrera. Ball comes over the top. Are we going to win it? We do. Into, it's going to be Ventador. This is where we can see the press. So you can see right off the rip here, you've got number 3 and number 12 bursting towards to try and win the ball back. They press, force them back a little bit. They then force to play a long ball over the top, which Ventador nearly gets on and intercepts. Unfortunately, on that occasion, it's just pure luck that the ball does go over. But if you just see how that press works, how they were forced to play that long ball over the top instead of possibly doing what they wanted to do, it's because the press was so intense. They then go long again. Vivian picks up the ball very well there into Kappa. Zaraga there into Williams. Cuts it back into Ventador. Again, the passing absolutely sublime. Kappa down the wing here. Cuts it back to see into Williams, back into Kappa, ball across into Sansei, and that is a beautiful goal. And what you're going to see with this system is how the passing is really short, but when you do need to hit a wing, which we did there with the ball over the top, you will hit the wing. When you need to get the ball in the box, you'll hit the ball into the box. There's so many options, so many creative chances. It's really, really good. And that's why, especially in these divisions, you score so many goals. You really do. And that was to put us 1-0 up against Pamplona. We then go again. They go long with the ball. I don't know why they keep doing that. We win it. Williams looking for an option into Williams, into Kappa. Looking for an option. Ball over the top this time. Switching the play up into Inaki, who chips the ball over, and a delightful goal to put us 2-0 up. So a perfect example there of not always short is the best. There was a long ball on, so we go long with it, and we get a goal. So a very, very good balance between the two, I will say. Moving on then. So they have the ball here. We're pressing them all the way. Look how high we're pressing them into their area here. Inaki Williams trying to force it. He has to go long. This is what I literally, is so nice seeing it in an actual game. He's forced to go long. Martinez obviously gets the loose ball, plays it into Sansei, into Ventador, into Inaki, into Zarega, through to Moumouine, who forces a shot. Again, not the best shot from him, but it is a shot nevertheless. And that all come from that high passage of press. That's all it come from. Beautiful to see. We then have a corner which doesn't go in by the looks of it. Looks like they must defend this quite well. It does go out into Zarega. Looking for some options on the wing here. Is he going to go and try and whip it in? He does, and it gets intercepted. Fair play. Fair play. It's always good to see the key highlights as well, because you see, like I said there, you see their attacks as well. So it is good to see. Then have Yuri with the ball here. Playing it long into Moumouine. Is he going to get there? He does. Beautiful bit of pace from him. Cuts it back into Yuri. Ball into the box, and unfortunately Herrera, not the best ball, it floated into the box there. Quite an easy collection. The goalkeeper then keeps going long, as they love to do. I don't know why they keep doing it. It's going to be Simon with the ball into Yuri. Again, tons of options all around the pitch. That's one thing I will say about... Right, one thing I forgot to say, and this is really important. When you've got like a 4-1-4-1, obviously you've got that 1 in midfield, the deeper role. So he's always an option on the ball. But then because you've got that 4 in midfield that are constantly on the move, they're always in a position that you can play the ball. So you're never, ever going to be in a situation where you've not got an option, which is why I'm surprised Leeds didn't do better in real life and had such a bad decline, because it is actually a really good system. Possibly, you know, it was the players more than the system. But when you've got good players on the pitch, it is actually a really good tactic to be playing. As you can see, there's always options. Like Martinez here, he can go wide. Perfect option into Zorega there if he wants to play it into him, which he does. And again, into Sansei, little bit of a drive. That was just a poor first touch or a poor drive. It was nothing down to the play. Again, we're hitting him with a press again. Number 10 coming in close onto Reina. He does actually nick it off him in. Great press from him. Ball through to Inaki Williams, and it results in a goal. The importance of the press cannot be matched in this system, guys. It really can't. It's so, so important. It really is. That's a long celebration. A very long celebration. Then another corner coming in. That's a good save from Simon. A good block there from Williams, who just decides to thump it long. Very strange passage of play there. Second half comes in then, so it's going to be them with the ball. Moy Gomez coming in. Again, number 16 getting close to him. Number 10 trying to intercept that, I think. If not, number 17, I imagine, will be on Ruben Garcia in a flash, which he is. He does cut through, though. Number 17 staying quite close. 16 going towards him. Number 9 instantly right out of the gates onto the press. Force them back to the goalkeeper. They're going to make a mistake in a minute. I can sense it. Look at the press. We're pressing them in. Oh, they got out of that one. Like I said, it can be played out of, but it's very difficult. As you can see there, it always leads in that one pass that gets made too quickly because there's so much pressure on. Ball over to the top into Inaki Williams, who chips it, and that is going to make it 4-0. So we've seen 2 or 3 goals there that purely happen because of the press, and it shows how good this tactic can be if you've got the players to do it. So honestly, do give this tactic a shot. If you guys are a big fan of a high press, this is going to be the tactic you guys want to be trying because it is the perfect one for you. But let's go over to the tactic now and do a full breakdown. So, before we do a full tactic breakdown, including the player roles, please do leave a like on this video, and please do subscribe to the channel as well, and turn on notifications. This way, you're never going to miss an upload from me, and also you're going to get notified when I live stream, which are going to be coming back very, very soon. We're either going to be streaming the Journeyman, or we're going to be picking a new save recommended from you guys. One last thing, I have got a community poll up on my community page right now, which is voting between doing the Journeyman or a new save for the live stream. So if you guys do want an opinion on that, you want to have an influence, do go and vote on that right now. But let's get into this tactic and break it down. So we're going to start off with this side of things first. We always do. The actual tactic. So positive mentality, because it is very positive right from the rip. You want attack and width set to wide. This just helps spread that team out a little bit. You want shorter on the pass and directness, extremely high with the tempo. You want focus play down the left and the right and overlap left. You want run at defense and also be more expressive selected. And that is it for this, apart from low crosses. Typically, it depends on your striker. But for me, it always worked better with the teams that I tested with to have a low cross on. And also, it's just a lot better because obviously you have also got like these wingers who do get into the box as well. So having it low, it can get zipped across rather than just floated back stick. So I would recommend having the low crosses selected. In transition, you guys want to have counter press, counter attack, or counter possession when it has been won. Distribute quickly and distribute to the playmaker in midfield because there's so many of them. And also take short goal kicks. Out of possession, you want a much higher defensive line, a much higher line of engagement, force opposition outside, and an offside trap selected. Trigger press, obviously, are much more often. Prevent short goalkeeper distribution. That is when you saw Rodrigo Inaki pressing so quick on that goalkeeper and get stuck in, because then you really are going to get in their faces, make them nervous, force them into mistakes, and cause some issues. Moving over to the player roles then, which again is arguably more important than the actual tactic itself. You need to get these right. So we are going to be going over to the goalkeeper, sweeper keeper on the attack duty, shorter passing, and that is simply it. Obviously, the Leeds goalkeeper, Mulier, obviously does love to come out occasionally here and there. Sometimes it goes right, sometimes it doesn't. But if we're replicating Bielsa, that is what we would be doing. In terms of fullbacks, you want 2 complete wingbacks on the support duty. You want them unbalanced on the trigger press, get further forward, stay wider, run wide with the ball, aim the crosses at the centre, shorter passing selected. It's going to be exactly the same for the left-hand side, but I'll show you anyway. You want the balanced on the press, stay wider, get further forward, run wide with the ball, shorter passing, and aim the crosses at the centre. Moving over to the 2 central defenders, you're going to have one which is going to be a central defender on defend, simple, basic, take fewer risks, because the other one is a ball player. You will typically see him go up the pitch a lot more. Shorter passing, balanced on the trigger press. On the right-hand side with the ball playing defender, again on the defend duty, but this one is going to be on take more risks, balanced on the trigger press, and also shorter passing on the directness. Now, moving over to probably the person that has the most hardest job in this team, because he is literally the glue to the back four, and that is going to be an anchor in the midfield. And this guy is very, very disciplined indeed. Trigger press is going to be unbalanced, mark tighter, tackle harder, shorter passing selected. Obviously, you can see here, dribble less, shoot less often, and take fewer risks. Automatically do get selected within this role. Moving over to the two in midfield players, the two centralised ones. We've got one box-to-box. Trust me, guys, you need a box-to-box in this system. On the support duty, you want him on trigger press on less often for this one. Tackle harder, move into channels, shorter passing, and take more risks. This guy easily covers the most distance on the pitch. He's literally up and down, up and down, up and down, and it is very, very tiring for this guy, but you need to have a box-to-box because it balances that three in midfield. Because although it's four, like it is a 4-1-4-1, there is obviously three centralised midfielders, and you need one of them to be gunning up and down the pitch just to help out. Then we've got the most attacker midfield player, which is going to be a Metzala. Big fan of a good old Mezzi. In the attack role, we are going to have him on the trigger press on less often, stay wider, get further forward, shorter passing, and dribble more. This guy does have a little bit less of, the leash on him. He can get off the leash a little bit. He does get forward. He does help attack, because at the end of the day, we do need to have someone in midfield that is creative, because we've got three players here who obviously are our most blatant attacking players, but we do need a midfield player who can supply them. Moving over to the left-hand side then, we've got an inverted winger on the attack duty. We've got him on trigger presses on less often, stay wider, get further forward, roam from position, cut inside with the ball, shorter passing, take more risks. Now, why is on roam from position? Good question. Is because basically this helps replicate that constantly on the move. Sometimes coming in, sometimes going out. I like them to stay wider, but when they do roam, they will occasionally pick the ball up in centrally, help the midfield players, help the build up, blah, blah, blah. You know how it works, creating them beautiful triangles as we love to see. Going over to the right-hand side then. On the inverted winger, on the attack duty, we've got less often on the trigger press, get further forward, stay wider selected, again, roam from position as we did just talk about, cut inside with the ball, and shorter passing, more risks has been selected on this player too. Going over to what is going to be the goal scorer, what brings home the bacon. It is going to be the advanced forward on the attack duty, and he is going to be told less often on the press, shorter passing, dribble more, shoot more often, and take more risks. This is the guy that is going to be scoring you the goals. Obviously, the wingers also contribute very highly with the goals here, as well as the midfield players, but the main set of the goals do come from this player, so really, really important to let him have, let him be selfish at the end of the day. But this is a tactic you guys should definitely try. It's always free, my tactics. They can be found in the description, and they're really fun to use. This one, honestly, can be used with any team. Like I said, the only recommendation I would have is to possibly make sure you've got good squad depth or players that are just naturally fit and can hack play in this sort of style. Also, make sure you use your subs. There's only very select fewer players that can hack play in a full 90 minutes every single game using this type of style. So let me know how you guys get on in the comments. I really do like hearing how you guys get on when you use my tactics. But that is going to be it for me today, guys. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, please do leave a like on this video and subscribe. You know what to do. And if you guys do want to support me one step further, you can now actually become a channel member. There's some really cool perks you can access, including a Next Football Manager giveaway. So definitely check that out as well. There is a link in the description to that. But that is going to be it for me today, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.